Paddington tried calling out, "Help!" At first in a very quiet voice, so as not to disturb anyone, then very loudly, "Help! Help!" When that didn't work, he began bailing the water out with his hat. But the hat had several holes in it, and his map of Peru soon turned into a sea of foam. Suddenly, Jonathan and Judy burst into the bathroom and lifted a dripping Paddington onto the floor. "Thank goodness you're all right," cried Judy. "Fancy making all this mess," said Jonathan admiringly. "Even I've never made as much mess as this. But why didn't you just pull the plug out?" "Oh," said Paddington, "I never thought of that." When Paddington came downstairs, he looked so clean no one could possibly be cross with him. His fur was all soft and silky, his nose gleamed, and his paws had lost all traces of the jam and cream. The Browns made room for him in the small armchair by the fire, and Mrs. Bird brought him a pot of tea and a plate of hot buttered toast. "Now," said Mrs. Brown, "you must tell us all about yourself. I'm sure you must have had lots of adventures." "I have," said Paddington earnestly. "Things are always happening to me. I'm that sort of a bear." He settled back in his armchair and stretched out his toes toward the fire. "I was brought up by my Aunt Lucy in darkest Peru," he began, "but then she had to go into a home for retired bears in Lima." He closed his eyes thoughtfully, and a hush fell over the room as everyone waited expectantly. After a while, when nothing happened, they began to get restless. Mr. Brown coughed loudly, then he reached across and poked Paddington with his finger. "Well, I never," said Mr. Brown. "I do believe he's fast asleep." "Are you surprised?" asked Mrs. Brown.